In the last video, I talked about what I'm letting go of this year. Not dramatically, not all at once, but intentionally. Today, I want to talk about the other side of that. What I'm choosing to add back in. Not more goals, not more pressure, but better foundations. And if you're someone who feels like you've tried to fix your life before, only to end up frustrated, tired, and burnt out, this conversation is for you. First, health. The first thing I'm adding back in is a different relationship with my health. Less control, more listening. For a long time, I treated my body like something to manage or override. Push through the fatigue, ignore the signals, and keep going. This year, I'm choosing to treat my body as feedback. What that looks like is paying attention to how I sleep, how certain foods actually make me feel, how my digestion responds, noticing when my energy dips instead of judging it. Not in an obsessive way, but in a respectful way. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be honest. Movement. The second thing I'm adding back in is movement, and movement I'll actually stick with. I used to teach Pilates for a number of years, and my clients often asked, "What's the best exercise to do? Should I continue with Pilates?" My answer was always the same: do something you enjoy that you will continue doing. Any kind of movement that sparks joy that you wish to come back to, that matters more. That consistency matters more than that intensity. So instead of chasing the right workout, I'm choosing movement that feels supportive. Walking, stretching, resistance training, anything that feels like it gives me more energy instead of draining it. This isn't about discipline, it's about sustainability and consistency. Rest and recovery without guilt will be the third item I'm really focusing on. Another thing I'm intentionally adding back is rest without guilt attached to it. Rest that doesn't have to be earned, isn't just justified by productivity. It's actual recovery. And that might look like quieter evenings, going to bed earlier, fewer late nights, saying no to things that overextend me, letting my nervous system settle instead of staying in consistent motion. Rest is not laziness, it's part of being well. And we become more productive once we have that rest. The fourth thing I'm adding back in this year is time with people who feel like nourishment. Not obligation, not emotional labor, but conversations that feel easy, laughter, presence, connection that doesn't require performance. As we get older, we don't need more relationships, we need better ones. And that includes being honest about connections that give us energy and which ones quietly take it. Next would be creativity without a purpose. When we were young, we did that without hesitation. And another thing I want to bring back is that creativity without a goal attached to it. Whether it's music, art, writing, anything that allows me to express instead of optimize. So what would that be for you? Not everything needs to become content. Not everything needs to be useful. Some things are allowed to exist just because they make us feel like ourselves. The next area would be clearer boundaries as care. I'm adding back clearer boundaries. Not as walls, not as punishments, but as care for us and those in our lives. Boundaries are instructions. They teach people how to treat us, and they teach us how to treat ourselves. This year, I'm paying attention to where I may feel resentment, where I feel drained, where I'm saying yes when my body is saying no. Those moments aren't failures, they're information. Finally, I'm adding back in work that supports the life I want to live, not work that consumes it. That means helping people in ways that feel aligned. Clients, friends, family. Choosing depth over hustle. Building something sustainable instead of constantly pushing for more. Work matters, purpose matters, and our joy matters. But again, not at the cost of health, your relationships, or your peace. So if the last conversation was about clearing space, this one is about filling it intentionally. What small choices, better foundations, and less force would look like in your life. And if this reflection resonated, the next conversation will build on it. How these ideas actually show up in our daily life, not perfectly, but honestly. You don't need to overhaul your life to change it. Sometimes you just need to choose where you're adding back